As I speak to you on Tuesday, November 19th at 2:30 p.m. Central Time, we know that there is a House ethics investigation. We don't know if it will be released. And we know that Matt Gaetz is facing an uncertain future for his appointment as Attorney General of the United States in the second Trump administration. But we don't know where it's going to go from here. And we don't know whether or not there will be new information for the sex scandal that at one time looked like it was going to sink Matt Gaetz' career. He seemed to survive it. And now, obviously, as he is at the doorstep of his greatest career advancement, seems to revisit him. So, here's the iron law of political scandals. If everybody in America knows about it and you haven't lost your job, you should probably keep chugging. That being said, if you are in that vulnerable situation and new information starts dropping, well, it hits with a larger force. There's kind of a multiplier to it. So in my perspective, as far as the sex scandal specifically is concerned, it is as much of a liability for Gaetz as there is new information, because all of this has kind of been in the public eye for several years now. And when it comes down to it, it revolves around two different questions. Are sugar babies whores? And is it illegal to sleep with a minor if they have misrepresented their age? And what needs to exist to prove that that happened? Let's deal with the first, shall we? And for the pure among us, I'm sure that comes with a sub-question, which is, what is a sugar baby? Well, a sugar baby, as it was defined to me by ChatGPT, is typically a younger individual who enters into a relationship with an older affluent partner known as a sugar daddy or a sugar mommy in exchange for financial support, gifts, or other benefits. These relationships are often characterized by mutual agreements, where the sugar baby provides companionship and in some cases intimacy, while receiving monetary assistance, luxury items, or experiences in return. Now, these connections, which have existed for as long as time immemorial, have been facilitated, dare I say, mainstreamed by the internet, specifically websites like seekingarrangements.com. Seekingarrangements.com, or seeking.com as it was rebranded, is defined as such. An online dating platform that connects successful and attractive individuals seeking mutually beneficial relationships. Originally launched in 2006, it rebranded to Seeking.com in 2022 to broaden its appeal beyond traditional sugar daddy dynamics. And so it was on Seeking.com that a man by the name of Joel Greenberg, then a friend of Gaetz, who eventually pled guilty to sex trafficking and informed on the congressman, would meet women for these sex parties. Here is an ABC report back from when Greenberg was first informing to the Department of Justice. This is Greenberg writing to a woman. I have a friend flying in and we're trying to make plans for tonight. What are your plans for later? And how much of an allowance will you be requiring? Smiley face. The woman responded by telling Greenberg that she, quote, has a friend who introduced me to the website that I could bring. She said that she usually required $400 per meet. Greenberg then sent the woman a photo of Matt Gaetz. And the woman that Greenberg was speaking to said, my friend, oh no, this is Greenberg said that this was my friend, Matt Gaetz. The woman responded, ooh, my friend thinks he's really cute. Greenberg then replied that Gaetz was only down here for a day, adding that We work hard and we play hard. And then asked if you've ever tried Molly, referring to MDMA or ecstasy for the 90s kids. As Greenberg was discussing payment for the get-together, the woman asked if Gaetz used the same website Greenberg had used to meet her, again, seekingarrangements.com. Greenberg replied, he knows the deal, smiley face, referring to the Florida congressman. The former tax collector of Central Florida then said he would book a suite downtown for the gathering. Now, let me make this very, very clear. Joel Greenberg is a dolt. He is a character in a state that has grown some of the most colorful characters in the history of politics, my home state of Florida. To give you a sense of the kind of man that Joel Greenberg is, he once burnt down government property because he had a Bitcoin mine running too hot. He had a bunch of computers plugged in trying to mine Bitcoin. He ran it too hot and he burned the place down. So, this gets us into our question. You have a website that's built on the idea of wealthy people connecting with attractive people. The implication of money or expensive gifts for intimacy. But are the sugar babies on these websites, strictly and legally speaking, whores? Women who are charging money for that sex act. And this is a very important designation because there is no law that determines how soon you can become friends with somebody. There is no law that says that your friends have to be curtailed within a certain level of horniness. And there is no law that says that you can't pay for your friend's flight to come visit you. And yet, if you fly a woman from one state to another, it is federal sex trafficking if the point of it is for you to pay for sex. Now, there is no firm answer on the question, are sugar babies, legally speaking, whores? Although Joel Greenberg did plea to sex trafficking. So he admitted that what he did was prostitution and then informed on Matt Gaetz for the same purposes. But in general, it's a moral and legal question that many affluent older gentlemen would probably never like to be resolved. However, things are a lot more complicated when one of those women is 17 years old. And that brings us to our second question. Is it illegal to sleep with a minor who misrepresents their age, and what needs to be shown to prove that the sex act happened? Now, recently, a lawyer for two of the women that spoke to the House Ethics Committee has been out doing the rounds, publicity-wise. They said the following. His clients had attended between 5 and 10 sex parties with the former Florida representative between 2017 and 2018 when Gaetz was already in Congress. Leopard says one of his clients witnessed Gaetz having sex with another woman who was 17 years old. They were at a house party in Florida. She testified that in July of 2017 at this house party, she was walking out of the pool area. She looked to her right and saw Representative Gaetz having sex with her friend who was 17. A report from the Daily Beast identified two Venmo transactions Gaetz had in 2018 with Joel Greenberg, an accused sex trafficker, for a total of $900. Greenberg then sent the money to the three teen girls in transactions labeled tuition and school. The 17-year-old in this story, who is now in her 20s, reportedly confirmed that she had had sex with Matt Gaetz during interviews with the House Ethics Committee. Now, we do have an answer to this question. In Florida, engaging in sexual activity with a minor is illegal, regardless of whether the minor misrepresents their age. The state enforces strict liability in such cases, meaning that a defendant's belief about the minor's age, even if it is based on the minor's false representation, is not a valid defense. This is Florida Statute 794.021 and explicitly states that ignorance or a reasonable mistake regarding the victim's age is not a defense to prosecution under sexual offense laws. And yet, that same woman testified about having sex with Matt Gaetz to actual criminal prosecutors. Matt Gaetz has already been investigated by the Department of Justice for this, and there was not enough evidence for him to catch charges, which leaves this not a criminal matter, but rather a matter of public opinion, because the people that were looking to nail Gaetz for this offense could not, apparently, find proof that would hold up in court. So no, you cannot claim that a 17-year-old lied to you when you had sex with them. And that allegedly is what happened. There's not really a dispute here. Some of the other women and the 17-year-old herself says that she did misrepresent her age and that when she told Matt Gaetz how old she really was, he cut things off. That being said, it does not appear that there was enough evidence to say that they actually did have sex, at least in a court of law. And again, all of these facts that I have told you have been known for years, ever since Greenberg copped his plea deal and was allegedly informing to the Department of Justice. All of this has been out in the open. And so that leaves us with this question. Will there be new information? And obviously we don't know. My suspicion is there probably won't be, because if there was new information, we would probably have heard it by now. The House of Representatives is not exactly an impenetrable box for secrets. But regardless of this sex scandal, I don't think it's Gaetz's highest hurdle for confirmation. What is far more realistically going to sink his chances is the fact that he has been a polemic bomb thrower within his own party, and he has not spared members of the Senate, those same senators who now hold his fate in their hands.